Hi, my name is Lena, welcome to my channel, and let's talk about Prose Edda. This is the last video of Sagalong 2019. Sorry about the confusing schedule. I thought we will need 2 weeks to read Prose Edda, but it actually is very short. In my edition it's less than 100 pages. Unfortunately, my edition is abridged, so it might be slightly more than 100 pages. So I really sorry that Elisabeth from Bookish North haven't made her video. She will do it after she comes back from London, from her trip to London, because I am kind of sort of a bit confused. I feel like Snorri Sturluson expected me to know Northern mythology. It was extremely packed with information, the Prose Edda, and I think Elisabeth had troubles doing this video because she knows too much. She knows very much, and I have trouble doing this video because I don't know much, and I think that I will need to read Prose Edda more than once to really appreciate it. Nevertheless, it was very interesting. Unfortunately, it was extremely packed with information. And let's talk about my first impressions. And Prose Edda, every page of it screamed at me Tolkien and The Hobbit. It has all the components. It has a dragon, it has a ring that has a curse on it. It has elves, dwarves, most of the names from The Hobbit, most of the dwarfish names. It has dragon. Have I mentioned the dragon and the hordes of gold that this dragon was guarding? So basically every page of it screams Tolkien, and some bits of it kind of whispers J.R.R. Martin and his Northern mythology, his white trees, the center of worship of Norse people. Sorry guys, there are some very similar trees. So it's very interesting and it's very well worth reading. I have never read such a creation story. It was extremely interesting and unique in my opinion. First we meet a king, King Gilf, sorry guys, and he wants to know the secret of other people, because they always have their way, their will is always fulfilled. He himself is a very skillful magician, he knows black magic. But he suspects that these other people, they know more, and he wants to learn their lore, how it comes that they always get what they wish for. So he disguises himself, he knows black magic, he disguises himself as an old man, and he comes to Asgard to talk to them. And Asas, that was a bit confusing. I suppose my translation isn't a good one. I have no idea how Asa people actually differs from Asa themselves, meaning gods. Well, he came to Asgard. I suppose he came to gods, asking them about their secrets. And they, of course, have their own secrets, their own lore, and they can predict the future. And they knew that he was coming, and they made a major illusion for him. So he comes to a huge hall. He sees a huge berg, touched with silver or gold. I don't remember exactly. So, and then he sees a huge hall and 3 kings sitting on thrones. And he talks to these kings. Their names are, well, it doesn't matter for me what their names are, because I don't know what do they mean. So, and he speaks with these kings, and he also conceals his own name and says that he is called Ganglier. So he is disguised. He is trying to fool the others. Everything that is shown to him is not real. And this creation story, this interview, looks very much like frequently asked questions. So Ganglier or King Jilf asks questions and asks those 3 kings answer these questions and tell them him stories. So he is disguised. He is lying to them. Everything he sees is an illusion. And the book itself is called The Foolery of Jilf, or Fooling of Jilf. So if it's not an unreliable source, if they are not an unreliable narrators, I don't know what it is. And it's abridged. My version is abridged. So it's, in my opinion, the ultimate unreliable source. It's very interesting, and it's baffling to me that he is in disguise. Everything he sees is not real. And nevertheless, the answers he gets, they are supposed to be this secret knowledge about Norse gods. So it's kind of strange and unique. I have never come across anything like that. The creation of the world, very different, and the things that were important to them, I suppose, very much present in the creation. First of all, the first things that were created were frost giants, and then a cow. There was a cow which with her milk fed the first frost giant, whose name was Ymer. And this cow, she fed on by licking salt stones, and she was licking the stones, and gradually from the stones appeared a first man. This was the problem with my translation. I never knew whom they were talking about: a man, a giant, some magical creature. So they tell me that from this stone appeared a man whose name was Bur, and he begot a son, Bor. And this son begot Odin and 2 of his brothers, Vile and Ver. And those brothers, they slew the first frost giant, Ymer, and from his body created earth, and from his blood rivers and the sea. And actually this north or Nordr, Sudr, south, Ostr, east, and Westr, west, they are actually dwarfs who are holding up the sky, and the sky is actually the skull of this frost giant who was slayed. So it's a very interesting detail. And it was interesting that first man and first woman, they were made from trees. And I suppose trees are very important to Swedish, Norwegian, and Icelandic people because that was the material for making the ships. So it was a very interesting thing that first man and first woman were made from trees. I don't know the significance of it, but there seems to be numbers 12. Odin has 12 names, or All-Father has 12 names, and there are 12 rivers that comes from a sacred well, and 3 is a very important number. I think 2. It's 3 husbands. Somewhere in the story, a woman had 3 husbands, one after another, and 3 gifts dwarfs made for Arthurs, and something else. 3 sons, Odin, and 2 brothers. So those numbers are very important, and I think they are very important to Christianity as well. Well, I'm ignorant about that, sorry. But I suppose those numbers are important. And I wonder why 2 different religions. It was written, I suppose, during the coming of Christianity. I don't know whether Christianity influenced it or not, but it's very interesting. And it, after the creation, after we are told about all the asses, Thor, Freya, and Frey, and many others, I suppose 12, there are 12, those asses with Thor as well. So we are told about them. And then we have adventures. We have Loki's schemes, and we have Thor's adventures, and they are very interesting and entertaining. The other interesting thing that all the others know about Ragnarok, they had a prophecy. There was a prophecy. They know that they are going to die in the end. And they also know that the things they need to do to avoid it, to get rid of Loki, because this wolf, Fenris the wolf, and another creature, Midgard serpent, they are actually children of Loki. So they never get rid of Loki, although they are troubled with his schemes more than once. And Loki begot these monsters, and they will play not the last part in Ragnarok. So gods, those asses, they know about Ragnarok, but they do nothing about it. I suppose it's in another proof that when prophecy is uttered, prophecy should be fulfilled. So they do nothing to avoid it. We also thought about Valhalla and how people spend time there. It's very interesting. In my edition, I don't know whether it should be there or not. There are some retellings, a retelling of the Ring of Nibelungs. Sorry, guys. It's very interesting. It was very entertaining, and I think I will reread it more carefully. Sorry, guys. One of the things that I especially liked, this ship that Frey has. I suppose dwarfs make it, or elves made it. Sorry guys, it's a huge ship. It can contain, it can give place to every asa with all their munition, all their armor. And it always has fair wind, and it can be folded as a napkin and carried into a pocket, in a pocket. It was extremely interesting thing. I liked it very much. And another story, one of the schemes of Loki, he helps to steal, to kidnap Idun and her apples, her magical apples that give use to gods, to others, Odin, Thor, and so on, to them. And so for quite some time they have to walk around being quite older and quite older and not that handsome until they threatened Loki and made him to help them to get back Idun and her apples. So it was extremely entertaining, and it also reminded me very much of The Hobbit. And I envy Tolkien because he could read Old Norse, and he could read entire saga collection, which I won't be able to do because not all of them are translated into Russian or into English, and they are out of print. So I'll try to find something, some books somewhere, somehow, but not all of them are translated. Well, thank you for watching. Happy reading.